All right, another dating reality show. Netflix bringing it to you. Sneaky Links, Dating After Dark. Does this deserve a season 2? I kind of think it does. Let's talk about it. Okay, so right off the bat, the premise is something big, right? Sneaky Links, yes, we all know and have been through that experience. And it's a dating show. You know, dating reality shows are a bit tricky for me. You know, I know a lot of people like the more traditional, like The Bachelor, which, by the way, how traditional is The Bachelor and Bachelorette? You know, one rose to be given to each cast member, and it is sort of a Hunger Games of dating. But the dating shows have become more extreme over the years, and not everyone loves that, but I think Sneaky Links is a little bit different, and I'll tell you why. So the show is hosted by Chloe, which you know from Netflix's other hit shows like The Circle and Too Hot to Handle. You know, and the overall premise is very simple. It is, you're there, you are in a motel with your sneaky link, basically to decide and define if your sneaky link could be something bigger than just a dating after dark situation, or, you know, there's other cast members there, maybe that's who you're supposed to be with. Now, for everyone, it's different, but the overall draw from me has to be relationship coach and expert, Spicy Mari, the star of this show. Now, obviously, it's without question that I must say I've spent many years in the hosting, television, teleprompter, and even after-show space, you know, working with Spicy Mari alongside for so many years. So to see, you know, this relationship consulting firm that she's had over the years grow and grow and grow. You know, she's had a Hulu series before, she's been on the Ricky Lake show before, she's been on a VH1 series before. Spicy Mari has done all the things, but this show is the big Spicy Mari moment because she's the relationship expert, and all the cast members who are there with their sneaky link and may hook up with that sneaky link and or someone else, they all are basically going through these tasks and challenges and, you know, things that a relationship coach like Spicy Mari will put to the task and see, you know, how they can better themselves and maybe find love on a little bit more of a serious space rather than dating after dark. Because we all know the text messages that come in after midnight, it's a whole different thing. So there's a lot of growth to the show, even though it is a dating show. Okay, so the first thing I want to know is, do you think it's going to see a season 2? I definitely think it should. I think the premise, like I said, makes a lot of sense. Now, what's good about it is the proximity. There's other shows like Bravo TV has the Love Hotel, and it's this big, huge, extravagant villa, which is great and all, but I think something that makes this show so interesting is the motel itself, though nice, it's not like the biggest space, so therefore you are all, you know, next to each other, and you're texting someone at this time, and you're saying, I'm going to spend more time with you. It's kind of got a little built-in drama factor just because of the proximity that every cast member has to be with each other. Now, the thing about it that makes it interesting is that Spicy Mari is giving these challenges. Like I said, these challenges aren't just challenging to find out if you are best suited for this one or that one, but they're also to make you grow. I mean, that's the way I like to take it. Obviously, it's more of a fun and naughty and, dare I say, spicy show, but I do think if you really watch it, she will make you grow, you know, as a person. I think there's something to that, and that is why this show is a little bit different for a dating reality show. Now, in terms of dating reality shows, I mean, first of all, I will say, yes, some people like the traditional, you know, and other people like all these extreme, you know, ways to date in a game show type of atmosphere. I think there's even a show now called Date on a Plate. So it's really about what you like as a viewer. For me, like I said, I like the more traditional, like I think there's a fun fact that like more people have gotten together, got married and had kids on CBS's Big Brother, that reality game show, than actually like The Bachelor. So it's all kind of just more entertaining TV. Who's to say people will hook up and stay together for the long run? That we don't know. But in terms of a fun show and all the twists and turns on the roller coaster, Sneaky Links has definitely got it. So right off the bat, I'm trying to compare what this show reminds me of, and it's kind of impossible because it is its own thing. And at first I was thinking, like, is this, you know, I first thought about the show, which was on MTV, which was called X on the Beach. And the reason I think about X on the Beach is because it really was that. They were there in the house with their ex, and they were there possibly given an opportunity to entertain who was in the house. And that type of premise is really good, but the casting needs to make sense. You know, one of the things I loved about this particular series is that we're meeting all new cast members. And Netflix, they are really dominating in terms of new reality shows and bringing new personalities to the platform. For the longest time, it was Bravo TV, and I know Hulu's been making an impact with reality TV, but Netflix continues to give show after show after show. You know, two of the shows that I love the most on Netflix are Selling the OC and Selling the City. I'm not a Selling Sunset fan at all. I thought that was the worst one of the three within the franchise, but that's just me. But yeah, Netflix is really leaning into this. And Netflix is also trying different things. You know, they had the live Tom Brady roast. Comedian John Mulaney had his late night show, one topic, and they broke it down, and it was live. That was different too. And of course, Yvonne Orji with Pop the Balloon, which I guess in turn is another dating show. So they're trying a lot of things, but I feel like I want the Netflix executives to see that this one's actually really fun. And I think the biggest thing to bring up is how it competes and how it stands up against the biggest dating show right now, Love Island. Love Island's always interesting to me because they get put in these really odd predicaments, and you get sent off to a different villa, and then you start connecting with somebody else, and they just take it so personally, but that's the premise of the show. So I was kind of worried that Sneaky Links would have some of that, and there was a specific moment I remember where one of the cast members got real mad because they had to play a game. It was like a F, marry, kill type situation, and she didn't get the answer she wanted, and she felt very offended. On some level, that's just kind of like you roll your eyes because you're like, why are you mad? That is the game. That is the whole task of this show. But on another level, unlike Love Island, it felt more real. You know what I mean? Like, oh, whoa, reality TV feeling real. Anyway, long story short, I think Sneaky Links is a really fun and entertaining show. You could kind of have it on in the background. You could watch it, you know, eating your popcorn, and every episode is intriguing. It's different. It's exciting. And I think they got a hit on their hands. I'm really anticipating a season 2. Different cast members, and that's the thing too. Will this group of cast members become the next big thing? Like it is. The competitive Peacock streaming, you know, has Love Island, and Love Island has really launched big careers. And I think watching each of these cast members, you have that same element. I think some of these cast members can be very entertaining. Oh, and one quick question I have. Will there be a reunion? And who will host it? Maybe it'll be me. But Colton and Kelsey, you know, some of these cast members, if you watched all the shows, you know, there's about 10 in this particular series, Sneaky Links. Some of the cast members have really made a splash where they're leaving the motel, the Sneaky Links motel, and where are they now? You know, this was filmed a little bit ago, and it's, you know, who's to say? Who's to say? Will you be watching Sneaky Links? Is this the kind of dating reality show that you enjoy, or are you like, come on, we gotta be more serious? But beyond that, like I said, to support Spicy Madi, a relationship consultant, and see her career go and grow, super exciting to me. So I'll be watching each and every episode, as I've done maybe 2, maybe 3, maybe 4 different times. Sneaky Links on Netflix. Is it the next big thing? You decide.
Hey, Ronnie Jr.